Rob is on woke. TV's Rob is on woke. He's on woke.
Oh, yes, indeedy, everybody. It is that time once again. I am your humble, but not really, host, TV's Rob, and this is TV's Rob is on woke. Welcome to it. Another jam-packed episode with so much going on. So you're probably asking yourself, TV's Rob, what did you pick? Out of all of the things going on in the world, what did you pick to complain about, to talk about this time around? Well, I'm going to start off with a little story from this past weekend out at DFW International Airport. You know, one of the largest and busiest airports in the country and in the world. I was there over the weekend. My sister and her family, her dumbass husband, and their two kids flew into town from Dubai, where he is currently on some sort of secret agent, classified government spy intelligence gathering job for the CIA. The CIA. You remember those ads from a few weeks ago where you had the librarian for CIA and you had the mother for CIA? He falls into those types of categories. I don't trust him with national security or covert secrets for that matter. But anyways, I go out to the airport to greet them and help pick them up and everything. And these COVID masks, haven't we moved past them? I know most people have. I certainly have. Texas has. Florida has. A lot of other states have. But obviously not the airlines and not the airports. I get to the international terminal where they are arriving, and 75 to 80% of the people are wearing the mask. And of course, I'm getting sideways looks because I'm not. There's an announcement overhead that says federal law requires you to wear a mask while indoors. No, it's not a law, so I'm not doing it. You could be fined or jailed. Come on, try. But the thing that absolutely broke my heart was the fact that my niece and nephew, who are 5 and 3, respectively. My nephew is 5. My niece is 3. Both of them are wearing a mask, which I get. You know, the airline probably forced them to wear it. Then they were wearing it inside the terminal. But the thing that got me was we went outside and they kept them on. My niece, Naomi, I walk up to her and I'm talking to her and everything. And I say, you know, sweetie, you can take your mask off. And she just looks at me and she's like shaking her head no. So I start to reach over and I start to take it off of her and she grabs onto it for dear life. And I said, Naomi, sweetie, you can take it off. It's okay. And I look over at my sister and I said, what in the hell are you doing to your kids? Tell her she can take it off. So my sister tells her, you can take it off. So she starts to take it off, and I said, see, that face is way too pretty to be covering it up like that. And she starts smiling. But seriously, people, are we not past that point yet? It was aggravating. It was frustrating. And, of course, I didn't even know that was my niece and nephew under those things until they took them off. Because the last time I saw them, they were itty-bitty. They moved overseas to Dubai. I hadn't seen them in forever. And the first time I see them after all this time, they're wearing a mask. Insane. What are we doing to the kids? I would say our kids, but I don't have any. So what are we doing to the kids today? A 3-year-old gripping onto it for dear life, as if she's going to die if it is removed. These things are scarring the children. We've got to move past it. Seriously. Move the F on. All right. That's enough for that. There's my personal story for the week. I do look forward to spending more time with my niece and nephew as they are in town for the next week and a half or so. But priorities are priorities, and this is a priority. Plus, I think it's their nap time or something like that. But there's a lot more coming up. I've got some good material for you. The 10 best states to live in based on cost, safety, and quality of life from WalletHub. Now, many of you Pat heads heard Pat Gray talking about this morning on Pat Gray Unleashed. I'm going to dive into it and give you some of the criteria and what all they measured and give you the top 10. Scarlett Johansson, not exactly happy about the way that she was portrayed as Black Widow in the beginning of her run in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tell you what she had to say. And then, you know what they say about too much of a good thing? Well, how about too much of a ridiculous thing? 15 electric cars and trucks to watch for in 2022. That's all coming up on TV's Rob is Unwoke. TV's Rob here. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First and foremost, it's free. We all like free, right? There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, making it a lot easier than the way that I go about it. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, saving you the time, energy, and effort of having to do it yourself. It is a pain. You can make money from your podcast as well with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And if you start up a podcast using Anchor, I'll be your first guest. All right, welcome back to it. It's TV's Rob is Unwoke. I am your humble but not really host, TV's Rob. And I teased this before the break, the 10 best states to live in based on cost, safety, and quality of life. Now, as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has certainly had Americans on the move. First, people were ditching expensive cities like New York and San Francisco for the suburbs, or even more affordable metros like Austin, which, on behalf of all of Texans, please stay out, Phoenix, and Nashville. Now, as vaccination rates rise, some people are moving back. Still, others are moving as they permanently adopt a work-from-home lifestyle, according to market researcher the NPD Group. So, where is the best place to live? WalletHub recently released a new report on the best states to live in. Now, this wasn't covered when Pat Gray was talking about it. He kind of touched on it, but we're doing the deep dive here, okay? This is the remix deep dive. To determine the list, the personal finance website compared 50 states across 5 key dimensions: affordability, economy, education and health, quality of life, and safety. A whopping 52 metrics were used, such as unemployment rate, life expectancy, average commute time, and crime rates. And metrics were weighted differently. Of course they were. To calculate the overall score, each state's weighted average across all metrics was used. So, according to WalletHub, here are the 10 best states to live in, and we're going to count them down. Number 10, Pennsylvania, with a total score of 59.21. They ranked high in quality of life and safety with a low ranking for its economy. Number 42 out of 50. Number 9, Iowa. Total score, 59.49. Iowa ranked high in education and health and for its economy, but had a lower rating in affordability. Number 8, New Hampshire. Total score, 59.59. Ranked high for its economy and in education and health, but ranked low in affordability. Gee, that sounds kind of like Iowa, but it's even less affordable in New Hampshire. Number 7, Utah. 59.84 total score. Ranked high for its economy and affordability, but ranked low in safety. Really? Utah low in safety? Must be those godless animals that Pat Gray keeps talking about. Number 6, Wisconsin, with a total score of 60.94. Ranked high in quality of life and safety with a lower ranking in affordability. I'm seeing affordability come into play with a lot of these. Number 5, Minnesota, total score 60.97. Ranked high in health and education and affordability with a lower ranking in safety. Gee, I wonder why. Minneapolis. Riots. Burning stuff to the ground. Illinois Mars District. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had something in my throat there. That was really weird. Number 4, Idaho, with a total score of 61.16. Ranked high in safety and for its economy with a lower ranking in education and health. Now this is where the list gets completely crazy. I want to see what the exact weights for each category were of these 52 metrics that they used, because this makes no damn sense whatsoever. New York at number 3 with a total score of 61.63. Ranked the highest in quality of life. And safety. What? With a low ranking for affordability. Duh. Gee. Have you seen the size of an apartment and what they go for? This ain't Friends, y'all. Number 2, Massachusetts, with a total score of 62.60. Ranked the highest in education, indoctrination, and health, quality of life, and safety. Ranked low in affordability. Gee, it's in the Northeast. Duh. And number 1. This was shocking earlier with Penn Unleashed. It's still shocking now. New Jersey. The, quote, Garden State. Number 1 with a total score of 63.01. Although New Jersey is not among the most affordable states, it ranked number 49. It got top marks in safety, ranked number 1. Quality of life, number 7. And education and health, number 5. So obviously, affordability was not weighted that high. It was not that big of an indicator in the overall score. Obviously, this was weighted towards other stuff, and they were probably using bogus stats. But hey, there you have it. There's your deeper dive into what WalletHub says are the 10 best places to live in America in 2021. Now, I can honestly say that there is not a single state listed here that I would want to move to. Period. At all. Definitely not New Jersey. Damn sure not New York. So I started looking at the rest of the list. You know, the states down at the bottom. What role did overall politics play in this? I'm just going to name the states. You tell me, okay? Leave a message, anchor.fm/TV's Rob is Unwoke. Leave a message there. Hit me up on Twitter at TV's Rob Official. From 40 to 50. At number 40, West Virginia. 41, Alabama. 42, Hawaii. 43, Oklahoma. 44, Nevada. 45, Arkansas. 46, South Carolina. 47, Mississippi. 48, Louisiana. 49, Alaska. 50, New Mexico. Some other notable states for you to consider. North Dakota, 15. South Dakota, home of Kristi Noem, 17. Texas, 33. One state I would consider moving to, North Carolina, at 28. Delaware, 32. Tennessee, 34. Georgia at 35. Rhode Island at 36. Oregon at 38. Virginia at 12. Vermont at 11. Florida, 14. Colorado, 16. Montana, 21. 22, Connecticut. 23, Maryland. 24, Kansas. Michigan came in at 25th. California at 27th. A higher score than Texas. You've got to be kidding me. You can't see me, but facepalm. I want to pause for a second to talk about protein bars. We've all seen them, and we've most likely tried a few of them while trying to lose weight or just get healthier. But what's the biggest problem with all of them? Well, basically, they all taste like crap. They're hard to chew, they taste awful, and they don't provide any type of actual satisfaction. But I'm happy to say that I have found one out there that isn't anything like the rest, and that is Built Bar. Built Bar is healthier than all those other protein bars. They're low calorie, low sugar, high protein, high fiber. They're great for keto diet. Lose or maintain weight while indulging in a delicious treat. Each bar contains only 110, 160 calories, 16 to 20 grams of protein, and 3 to 5 net carbs. Enjoy the healthiest thing you'll do today. When you eat a Built Bar, you feel better about yourself because healthy has never been this delicious. Built Bars are a lot like a candy bar, but good for you. They have 18 different flavors, including some of my own personal favorites: cookies and cream, strawberry, peanut butter, and mint brownie. All of their bars are covered in 100% chocolate. So you're probably saying to yourself, TV's Rob, how do I get these? Where do I go? All you got to do, go to BuiltBar.com, use the promo code TV'sRob to get 10% off your next order. Use promo code TV'sRob for 10% off at BuiltBar.com. Trust me, you'll love them. I do. BuiltBar.com, promo code TV'sRob. You know, I still can't get over the fact that they ranked California ahead of Texas in terms of places you would want to live. Are you kidding me? Anyways, not going to dwell on that. Welcome back to the program. I am TV's Rob. This is TV's Rob is on Woke. And our next subject matter. Having to flip a coin here. Do I want to talk about 22 vehicles to look forward to? Or 15 electric vehicles to look forward to in 2022? Or do I want to talk about Scarlett Johansson? Let's see. I'm going to go with Scarlett Johansson for obvious reasons. But I guess those obvious reasons I'm not allowed to vocalize anymore because that would be awfully rude of me. That would be awfully misogynistic and sexist and whatnot. But at the same time, it would be awfully unwoke of me if I referred to Scarlett Johansson as merely a piece of ass. Because that's exactly what she's complaining about. That's right. The Black Widow actress who has made herself among the elites in Hollywood, one of the highest paid in Hollywood, is now complaining after getting her own Black Widow solo movie, which everybody says she should have her own solo movie, her own origin story, her own this. I don't see the point in having a Black Widow solo movie. Probably not going to see it. Along with a lot of the Marvel Phase 4. Along with a lot of the other Marvel. Along with a lot of the other Marvel Phase 4 films. Just not going to do it. But Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, spoke out ahead of the release of that movie, Black Widow, about the way her Marvel character is treated like a piece of ass in past films. While on set for her standalone film in the franchise, the actress revealed her contempt for the hyper-sexualization of her character, also known as Natasha, specifically in the Iron Man sequel, Iron Man 2. She said, I mean, if you look back at Iron Man 2, and while it was really fun and had a lot of great moments in it, the character is so sexualized, you know? Really talked about like she's a piece of something, like a possession or a thing or whatever, like a piece of ass, really. And Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., even refers to her as something like that at one point. What does he say? I want some? No, he says, I want one. He said that to Pepper Potts after witnessing Johansson's character, Natasha, basically do an MMA move and take down Jon Favreau playing Happy Hogan. So he says that, admiring a woman for her strength in taking down his personal security bodyguard guy. So where's the problem there? Now, while it doesn't seem that the actress is too keen about the depiction of Natasha in previous films, she acknowledged the obvious erotic elements of her character. Gee, you think the Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, uses sexuality as both a means to feel and a tactic to manipulate the people around her? Okay? How else do you succeed as a spy? We see it all the time in James Bond films. James Bond seducing a woman. As she said, after playing the role since 2010, She noted that the character is empowered in her vulnerability, calling her last act of sacrifice in Avengers Endgame incredibly powerful. Now, I'm just going to go off the cuff here. I'm going to go based on what I recall and what I remember from seeing all of the Marvel films up to this point. She was introduced as a character that was to watch Tony Stark and keep a close eye on him during the events of Iron Man 2. If you are going into the den of a noted genius billionaire playboy philanthropist who has a long history of womanizing, don't you think that that's how you're going to be treated? Don't you think that's how your character is going to be introduced in your first introductory scene in that movie? Tony is ogling photos of you in lingerie. And Scarlett Johansson, let me ask you one question. How do you think you got to where you are in Hollywood? By allowing yourself to be portrayed basically like a piece of ass, okay? If you were really concerned about the way that your character was portrayed, I'm sure you probably would have felt the same way in other movies, but I'm going to guess that those were art, right? You know, Under the Skin from 2014, where you spent nearly 3 minutes fully nude on film. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I was really bad at math there for a moment. It's not 3 minutes. It's damn near 8 minutes, either fully nude or close to it in various states of undress. So, how is that not hypersexualization or coming off like a piece of ass? ScarJo. That's what really gets me about these Hollywood actors and actresses. They reach a point where they have all of this money, and now all of a sudden they have influence. And they have to go back and they have to rewrite history, and they have to go back and complain about previous roles or how characters were depicted. Because reasons, I guess. Chris Evans, the actor that plays Captain America, did the same thing not too long ago. Mark Ruffalo, who plays the Hulk, totally out there on the left, even begging for socialism. And I could go on and on and on and on and on about the Hollywood elites and how they do things and how they go back and they complain and they bitch, moan, and whine about their parts and their characters, blah, 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 blah. Sharon Stone, my God, here we are 30 years removed from the release of Basic Instinct, and she is pissed that the movie is going to be re-released in a 30th anniversary edition because it's a director's XXX cut where modern technology has come into play. And that one famous scene, you know the one I'm talking about, is going to be in it. And she is pissed that it's going to be re-released, and she's mad because, you know, she was under the impression that that wasn't going to be in the film. When you're in a movie scene and you're told to do the motion that you did and you see where the cameras are, don't you think that that's going to end up in there? Unless it was going into the director's personal spank bank inventory, it's going to be in the film. So, yeah. Don't do the movies, don't do the scenes, and then come back years later and complain about it. Either stand up and refuse, then and there, even if it costs you your job. Hey, at least you have your integrity, but you want those millions of dollars. So you do it, and then you complain about it later. Shut up. Get out of here with that crap. Guess all I can say right now is thank you, Scarlett Johansson, for ruining a good thing. And by a good thing, I mean me looking at you and having some sort of pleasure from it. But now it's gone. It's over. Turn out the lights. We're done. We're done here. But moving on. 15 electric cars and trucks to watch for in 2022. Like I said earlier in the show, you know what they say about too much of a good thing? Well, now I think we're getting too much of a ridiculous thing. The electric vehicles. Oh my God. Now they're everywhere. At first, we only had the Tesla a-holes to deal with. Now everybody, every car company is coming out with electric cars. They plan on ruling the world. And people like Joe Biden are trying to pave the way for it. I can't imagine the amount of government money, which of course is our money, going to these companies to develop these cars. This is absolutely ridiculous. But since it is inevitable, I'm going to take you through the 15 electric cars and trucks you can look forward to in 2022. The Audi Q4 e-tron and Q4 Sportback e-tron. I hate these names. Why do we have to have stupid names for cars? Why can't we have Mustang, Camaro, Corvette, Diablo, Countach? What happened to just giving it a name? Why do we have to have Q4 e-tron? Give me something I could really sink my teeth into, people. Seriously. Anyways, moving on. The BMW i4. The Chevy Bolt EV and Bolt EUV. Now, what in the hell is the difference between the two? The Bolt EV is a hatchback, and the Bolt EUV is in the style of a compact SUV. If it's going to be in the shape of a small SUV, just give it a different name. Don't be confusing me with this crap. It's like the Mustang Mach-E and a Mustang. Name the Mach-E something else, because it's not a Mustang, okay? Now, we talked about this one before. The Ford F-150 Lightning. We have the Genesis electrified G80, because they offer a G80 that's not electric. So I guess we have to say, hey, we're going to build it on the same chassis, same platform, but this one's going to run on electricity. So stupid. The Hyundai Ioniq 5. WTF. Stupid name. Then we have the Kia EV6, which looks like crap. The Mazda MX-30, which is only going to be available in California. Mercedes-Benz EQB is shaping up to be both a great EV and a great luxury SUV. Doubt it. Then we have the Mercedes-Benz EQS. Inspired by the iconic S-Class, the EQS has an interesting cab-forward design with sleek lines and rounded edges to optimize aerodynamics, because you really need aerodynamics when it comes to an electric car. And it's going to start out at about $100,000. Oh, totally worth it. Nissan, or Nissan, depending on who you ask, is producing an EV SUV known as the Aria. The Rivian R1S, which is a SUV that looks strikingly like a Bronco. Then we have the Rivian R1T, which is a truck. Then we have the Tesla Cybertruck, the Volvo C40 Recharge. And then we'll have other vehicles. I think Nissan's planning a CX-5 electric. God knows what else is coming down the pike. Does anybody really want a car that sounds like this? That was the sound of a prototype Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400, a car that they have no intention of actually putting into production, but it's a four-door EV wearing a Mustang badge that supposedly, with its 7 motors, can generate 1,400 horsepower. And that's what it sounds like on a little road course. Now, I think the funniest name for a car is the Tesla Model S Plaid. We all know that Elon Musk has a quirky sense of humor, and I wonder if this is what he had in mind when he decided, you know what, I'm going to name my newest car the Tesla Model S Plaid.
We're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed. hell was that? Spaceball 1. They've gone to plaid.
You know that had to have been the case. That's going to do it for this week's edition of TV's Rob is Unwoke with me, TV's Rob. Before I go, I'd like to share some reviews from Apple Podcasts. From Queen of the Padheads, 5 stars. Awesome, love this podcast. Rob tells it like it is without all the boring talking points. Thank you, Queen of the Padheads, aka Jules. Pretty Princess Steven, 5 stars. It's great, whatever. Love you, Rob. Thanks, Pretty Princess Steven. Could always count on you to tell it like it is. From Smallmouth Bass Kurt, 5 stars. We Patheads love all you screwballs. If you don't know Rob, the Pat Gray Unleashed and Blaze crew, including the behind-the-scenes producers like Rob here, you are missing out bigly. And Smallmouth Bass Kurt is absolutely right. You are missing out bigly. And if you're listening to this and you're enjoying it, feel free to go on to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review with some comments, let other people find the show, help the show grow, okay? I'm doing this for you and for me, just to have some fun. It's cathartic. It's therapy with an unlicensed therapist. I'm not a doctor, but I did once stay in a Holiday Inn Express. If you want to get in on the action and make your mark on the show and make the show yours, go to anchor.fm/TV's Rob is Unwoke and leave a voice message. I'll play a selection of them in future episodes. Also, if you want to come on the show and talk about something that's really pissing you off or something that you really just want to talk about, it could be an issue that you have. It could be something you want to raise money for. It doesn't matter. If you want to come on the show, hit me up either at anchor.fm/TV's Rob is Unwoke or hit me up on Twitter at TV's Rob Official. We'll discuss whatever's on your mind, all right? Special thanks to my wife and producer, Nikki. Without her, I wouldn't be able to do this. You can follow her on Twitter at DFW Radio Girly. Girly is spelled Girlie. Give her a follow. She has to put up with me, and she usually posts some pretty funny stuff, in addition to posting news and weather and things like that nature as well. She helps keep you informed, and she'll help entertain you. How many people do that? Also, thank you to the executive producer of TV's Rob is Unwoke, the Derpy Cat Ryoga. You can follow him on Twitter as well, at Cat Ryoga. Don't ask me. I just work here. That's going to do it for me. I am TV's Rob, and this is TV's Rob is Unwoke. We'll talk to you next time.